Well, good morning, everyone. My name is Janis, aka Wellness Diva 5.0. We had Carroll-Sue on. Don't know what happened with that one, but today is Fantabulous Friday. And you know, Friday, it's always kind of the start of the weekend, obviously, for many people. It's always a great day to kind of recapture what has happened the entire week. And obviously I'm a tad flustered because as soon as we went on, she disappeared, and I hope she is going to hop back on. And there she is. I just hit the admit button. You know what? I think there's a lot of kind of wonky stuff going on with the internet gods lately, and especially with Zoom, because there's just been some weird things going on. And there she is. I can't hear you though. So as she's trying to no, still can't hear you. That's weird. Try the volume on your computer. No, okay. So as she's trying to figure out volume issues, and by the way, yeah, there's been just crazy stuff with Zoom lately, and the IT gods are just not, specifically with me, but apparently not with my sister. But so Fantabulous Friday, and my eye is my eye is twitching again. I don't know if you remember last summer when my eyelid was swollen. And there she goes again. So again, let's just get down with it. Fantabulous Friday. Gosh, there's so much I want to say, yet I don't even know where to begin, because it's just been kind of crazy. So we're just going to go with the flow here. Friday is a day to kind of go over the entire week, figure out where you've been and where you want to go. And there we go, admitting her again. And it's really the process of just trying to set yourself up for every day is a good day, right? And Mindset Monday, Triumph Tuesday, Wealth Wellness Wednesday, Trending Thursday, and there she is again.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you? All right. I don't know. That was very weird. That has never happened before. The weird thing was, like, this big thing came up. Your microphone's not working. I'm like, what? It's green. My mic. So I unplugged the external microphone. I could hear it. And the weird thing is, because you're saying, can check your microphone. Well, it was all the way up, because obviously I wouldn't have been able to hear you. So I'm like, okay, well, let's get out of this again. But you know what? These are the little pivots that happen when you are on a live broadcast, whether it be live Zoom, podcasting, whatever it may be. And it's just one of those weird things. But you know what? You go through it, you giggle, it's all shits and giggles, because it's Fantabulous Friday. Good morning, everyone. Nani Boss finally here. And we are hoping that so far you've had a good week. I think the week overall has kind of been one of these, like a wave, kind of in and out, in and out, in and out. And that's life. And sometimes you just kind of have to roll with the waves, roll with the punches, roll with the missteps, because at the end of the week, you still, even in the midst of all that cray-cray, you got to find something good that happened, whether it was a good encounter, whether you accomplished, checked off a box, whether you didn't even check off a box, but you were accountable to not checking off that box. That deserves a pat on the back. Whether you pivoted it in such a way that you think that you couldn't. So that's what we, like, I did hear you talking about all of our different days that leads up to this great Fantabulous Friday. So I know, we talked a lot of different things for our first full week back. We had a great guest on. And, through that, we still had some adversities that, kind of like the rest of our audience and our clients, our customers and our viewers and listeners, is I think it was just one of those weeks where there was a lot of kind of weird airflow. What do you think, Jan?
Weird airflow, because yes, I mean, specifically in the Northeast here, we went from, 70-degree weather to boom, 94 degrees. So it's been oppressively hot and humid, which is one of the reasons I love getting up very early. Obviously, everyone knows that. And the first workout that I do is a power walk. Just so much better, obviously. But, when the air gets thick, sometimes so do our nerves, right? I had a misfire yesterday with a recording that is just giving me, for whatever reason, is giving me such a hassle. But you know what? I will figure it out, get it solved. I'm not going to, I guess what I'm trying to say in a roundabout way is don't let the energy of the weather, of what may be going around you, sacrifice your ability to bring you to where you need to be, because that's unwanted expended energy. Kind of look at it in a different way. And that's why one of the reasons why you were going off and in, I just started to crack up, and then all of a sudden my poor eyelids started to twitch, and I'm like, what's going on here? And I'm like, you just got to laugh, right? Every day.
Speaking of eye twitching, remember that movie? That's what that reminds me of. And it was a movie that our parents absolutely loved. Oh, and it was that detective, that crazy detective.
Inspector Clouseau.
Yes. And at the end of the movie or something, either his enemy or it was him, but it zoomed in on some eyeball twitching.
Oh, yeah. Oh, the Pink Panther. I think it was.
Yeah, that's what that reminds me of.
Who out there remembers the Pink Panther?
Don't even probably remember the Pink Panther.
Yeah. Yeah, we're kind of showing our age, but that's okay. We don't have a problem with that.
No.
Seasons, days bring about new changes, new things happening, and to be able to adapt, but to give yourself that opportunity to, okay, you need to feel what you need to feel and try to move forward. And that's why the energy around us, the people that we surround us with, are so important. And it's a way to kind of move forward, and a lot of great things happening this upcoming week. I think it's my 15th or 16th. I don't remember the number. I'm off on my numbers. Thriving Beyond Crisis, Conversations with Resilient Entrepreneurs. That is coming out on Thursday, August 19th. And we'll make sure that we update our page to let you all know where you can, when and where you can purchase that, obviously through Amazon. So I'm very excited about that. And these stories of these, and I just want to touch upon this real quick, of these amazing women. I can't, in the midst of my personal storm with my son's accident, I've gone back to these stories. I've obviously I was the virtual assistant on this project. So when these stories were compiled, I was able to read through these stories, and I went back to those stories for me because they brought me comfort. So just wait till you read this book is all I got to say, because I think I might say too much, and I don't want to do that, but just amazing, amazing stories. And we obviously would love and appreciate your support with that. But moving right along, Fantabulous Friday.
First off, got to give a shout out to one of my besties, Nancy Lapamato. It is her birthday today. It is August 13th. I didn't even realize the date. So very happy birthday to Nancy. I also wanted to share, some news, which this is, I don't know if I want to say it's not fantabulous news. It's actually kind of sad news, but it really kind of puts a point in an explanation mark. we learned probably, well, probably about a month ago, or maybe, yeah, probably about 2 months ago, that cruise ships were going to start going out to sea again, right? And there was a lot of confusion. A lot of people were upset or annoyed because they were only taking vaccinated individuals. That's the only way that they would take them. And this particular cruise, it just broke, this news story broke about, I don't know if it broke an hour ago, I'm just seeing it, but a Carnival cruise ship that was out of, I'm trying to think where it went out of, where does it say? I don't know if it was out of New York. Maybe it was, a Carnival ship that set sail from Texas, that's where it set sail from. And it was actually, was reported, and I believe they boarded, and there is 27 cases of COVID-19 on there. It's a US ship, and it arrived in Belize. So it left Texas, went to Belize, and there's 26 infected crew members, and they've all been vaccinated, and one person on board. So now they've isolated those crew members. Everyone is asymptomatic or had mild symptoms, which is good. Now the crew members are wearing N95 masks. All guests will need to have a negative rapid test to leave the ship at the next port. The team at Carnival noted that all positive cases have been isolated and contact tracing has ended with no additional positive cases, so that's good news. And that the infected crew and passenger do not pose threats to the crew or frontline workers in Belize. So I find that interesting. Again, that's data, that's real data on people that were vaccinated. And why I think this is fantastic news is not because of anything other than it provides data regarding the vaccination, where it kind of goes in line with what we've been talking about of where the goalpost keeps moving and the disinformation and the constant, before it was get vaccinated, what it actually still is, get vaccinated, get vaccinated, get vaccinated, because you can't get the virus or you can't spread the virus. And the more data that comes in and the more cases, because the media has a way of twisting things, and they're really implying that it's the unvaccinated now that are spreading it and or that are actually hospitalized. And that is just not true, because more data is coming in to support, just like in Massachusetts had a pretty big breakout in Provincetown. And that particular state is probably one of the states that has a high vaccination rate, meaning most of its citizens are vaccinated. And I want to say it was like in the 70%, somewhere in that. So in the hospital from this big, very, very recent outbreak, 74%, which is a high percent, of those hospitalized were actually citizens and or people that had received the vaccination. Again, this is good news in the sense that it's providing actual data regarding whether people make that decision of whether they want to get the vaccination or not. Because I think for some people, they don't educate themselves enough to understand that when you get vaccinated, and this doesn't mean that those that are opposed to getting the vaccination are anti-vaxxers either. I want to be clear on that, because a lot of the opposing side is using the argument, it's because you're an anti-vaxxer. It's nothing to do with that. For most people that actually do their homework to understand it and take pride in that, is they're asking questions because they're not anti-vaxxers. They just want to make sure that what they're putting in their body has been studied enough that it's going to have the outcome that they hope that they're going to get. And these kinds of cases where they're now starting to really showcase some actual physical data that does not support that getting the vaccination clears you from getting it. They did say that the vaccination would help lower the symptoms. but there's quite a few people that are vaccinated that the symptoms aren't low because they're being hospitalized. So this is good news in the sense that we're getting some good hard evidence data, which people need to make educated decisions. And that's why it's good news.
Right, definitely good news. And I just want to be clear with everyone. I hear a little bit of feedback. I just want to make sure.
You're hearing some feedback?
A little bit. So I just want to make clear to everyone, we are not medical advisors. We cannot medically advise you on what to do.
Right.
What we can say is you need to make whatever decision you need to make for yourself through talking with your medical provider, talking with your family, doing your own research and asking your medical advisor, whether that be your doctor or a PA, whatever that may be, to get your answers or your concerns addressed so that you can make whatever decision you need to make for you that you feel is right for you. Okay, so we're not saying get the vaccination. We're not saying don't get the vaccination. You have to determine that and make your own decision based on speaking with your medical provider. So that
Absolutely.
is,
yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, that's our disclaimer. So we're not advising.
Right. No, we're just providing, what information that we are finding out that I think is useful. And, we don't want to get into the, why, who says what and does what, because, that adds more drama to it. And that's not what we're about. We want to try to make sure that we, a lot of sometimes what we're sharing is because we're very interested. We like kind of digging into the story of different things and trying to find out all avenues of either data or links that can help our viewers and our audience, search certain areas, because some people that's not their forte. And we love digging into getting information to help everything that has to do with health and wellness. And obviously that's kind of a big piece of health and wellness. So Fantabulous Friday, what can you say that you are going to celebrate yourself that you accomplished today? Please make sure that you do that. It's not selfish. It is great to give yourself a pat on the back and say, hey, I did good this week, or I accomplished this. I overcame this triumph. I was a trendsetter. I accomplished something. I went out of my comfort zone and did something that was making me feel uncomfortable, but I did it anyways. Even if it's a ride at a carnival, doesn't matter. How many of you like to go on those spinny things? I cannot do that anymore. Ever since I had children, which was many, many moons ago, I can't do any kind of spinning ride. I'm just not good at it. I think the only roller coaster ride I can do now is a smaller one that is, it's in Disney, and it used to be the old Frontierland. Of course, they've changed everything around, but it's an outdoor one. The kids go on it, but it's not a kiddie one. It's kind of in between that one because I can see what's going on. I did get out of my comfort zone a little bit. I went on a little bit bigger one at Legoland a few months ago. So you know what? I'm not going to say don't do them, but for me specifically, I don't know. It kind of makes me a little spinny and blah, blah, blah. But guess what? There's other ways to make sure that you're having a great day and overcoming something. Celebrate you. That it's so important to, even if it's 15 minutes of you just kind of sitting and reviewing, thinking what you're going to do for the weekend. Don't forget how you got to this Friday. What got you here? What motivated you to do well this week? What did you triumph over? So those are all good things. And we will be back on Monday. I will be most likely by myself for a few days. Next week, if I can figure out the technology piece to all this, because Manny knows she's the one who, Janis, really good at that, and I'm not so good at that. But I'm going to try it. That's kind of what I'm going to work towards, and we'll see how well I do. All else fails, I can always just go live on the page. So I might have to resort to that. So we will be back. Now that we're kind of back into a groove, we want to make sure that we're going to keep going and also just still share all things that we're passionate about. With that, we wish you a great, fantabulous Friday. This is Carroll-Sue, AKA Naughty Boss, with TwoSistas.
Hey everyone, it's Janis, AKA Wellness Diva 5.0. And this is my no spin zone. Have a fantabulous Friday. And I look forward to seeing you all next week and providing you an update. So have a great weekend. Make it a good one. Bye, everyone.